Welcome everybody to this Monday edition after the new year, our first weather show, FSU Weather Show of the year. I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm Donovan Wiseman. Casey, Happy New Year. Happy 2015.
Yeah, absolutely. A new year, looking at new weather headed our way, of course, and across the Big Bend region, southwest Georgia. But let's kind of look back here over the next 3 desks over what happened in 2014. In terms of the climate over the year, last year we did see above average temperature to half a degree above normal recorded at the Tallahassee Regional Airport.
We did. We covered a lot of spectrums last year in 2014. I feel like we can't cover 2015. Before we talk about what happened, we had our 6th warmest summer.
Front as it slowed down pretty much to a halt. You can see much of Florida has dealt with a good amount of rain. We saw about a trace of rain here in Tallahassee. that is coming through later on into the night. Showers and storms will persist throughout as that front is pushed on through. As for us, we are going to dry out briefly, but then get wet again for Tuesday, and we move on through Thursday. So chilly temps are behind this cold front, but we will have a space in between Wednesday as we dry out a bit. So that cold front is going to push on through as we look on into Wednesday morning with a low surface low to our east. But that will bring about a best chance of rain into Thursday. As we look on through for the future cast, those chilly temps are going to persist. So we're going to be seeing that for our future. Tonight's forecast is, like I said, it's a little bit, it's going to be kind of a sticky night with 57 degrees as our low, those cloudy skies with that 20% chance of rain. So the rain chances are a bit on the low side. We probably saw our best chance for rain earlier today with those north winds, but going to be a sticky and muggy night for you there. In tomorrow's forecast, 71 degrees, temperature's a little bit mild, should be similar to today, 30% chance of rain with the scattered showers and winds out of the north yet again. And as we look onto the 7-day forecast, well, we got a best chance for rain on Thursday with about 50% chance of rain. Those temperatures are going to knock down a bit on Wednesday. Cool temperatures overnight, but hey, the weekend weather looks great as we are seeing those temperatures and those sunny skies. And we're going to send it off to Daniel with more.
Well, thanks a lot, Ian. Well, we're going to step on back from that cold front coming up and take a look at the stationary front that has been affecting the state for the past day or so. You can see that St. Augustine and Orlando are currently getting a lot of rain right now. We'll get it more into rain in just a second, but right now we're looking at the water vapor. What we can see from this, you can see this storm is right over Orlando. You can see that the stationary front is just past Tallahassee right now. The cold front that's coming, it's not really completely defined yet. We will get some rain, as Ian was talking about, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Current conditions, we see that we are at 69 degrees and cloudy. It's not a lot of fun for us because we'll get in rain, but eventually it will brighten up and it'll be much, much better. See, New Orleans already has the sun coming out, 64 degrees down there. Orlando, as we were talking about, rainy conditions, still 65, and you can see what that cold front that's going to pass tomorrow is going to do to our temperatures. If you look up at Montgomery and Atlanta right here, you can see there's a 10-degree difference and even 10 to 12 degree between us and them, and the cold front's right in between that area right now. Well, here's our rainfall since midnight. You can see we haven't had very much at all. Orlando's had 3 inches of rain so far, and that's really the big spot that's been hit. It's a lot of rain down there compared down to Miami. They've barely had anything at all. And we're going to move on to our radar, and there's Orlando right there with all those strong storms around it, unfortunately for them. You know, but there's more up in Wilmington, and you look up there in North Carolina, they're getting just as much. Savannah even getting hammered also with that rain, unfortunately for them. Tonight's forecast, we're going to have a low of 57, not that bad, but that's because the clouds we're going to have tonight. It's going to keep that low relatively high. And for Orlando, they're going to see 62 because of their clouds also. So we're sticking right around average. We'll expect this to drop as we get further into the week. And for tomorrow's forecast, only a high of 72. We're not dropping down to the 60s and 50s just yet for that high. That'll come later on, but for right now we're going to be in the lower 70s and very cloudy. And for tomorrow night's forecast, we're going to have 54 degrees, which is not a whole lot of change, but still, again, those clouds are going to be hanging around from that front. And so that's what's going to keep that in there. And we'll see some temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s coming up. For our area tomorrow, it's
Thanks, Daniel. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the other events that we've seen in 2014 that were significant across this area. First, starting off with a winter storm warning issued, even sleet on campus, in fact.
Yeah, that was almost 1 year ago to this day. That affected Atlanta and Birmingham. We got out of school for a day, and I-10 was shut down for about 200 miles. Isn't that right?
Of course, absolutely. Talking about significant delays, of course, having to go on other roads that was shut down because of the bridges being iced over, the threat of that. Also, it was a wet day, February to April. There were several flooding events during that time frame that caused some significant issues with rivers across our area. The summer was significantly drier than normal as well.
I remember all that. I remember walking to class in the rain, getting all wet, and now I remember sweating all summer too. But for now, let's take it out and talk about what's going on around the country.
It's been a wet day all across the East Coast, and even a little bit of snowflakes falling across New England. Low pressure center just to the north of our area, bringing in a lot of rainfall. You saw 3 inches there in Orlando, lots of showers, and even a little bit of thunder crossing I-4 now. Thunder even rumbling across Cape Hatteras, snowflakes falling across the north and east. A couple flakes falling across the west as well. Denver seeing flakes, as well as Fort Collins out there in Colorado. Detroit starting to see the end, the backside of the snowflakes there, and starting to taper off across Cleveland as well. But those snowflakes are still falling across Burlington, up towards Montreal, and up and towards Bangor, Maine. Much sloppier from Boston down into the Upton, New York area, where they had some freezing rain, up to 1/10 of an inch across northern Pennsylvania this afternoon, slowing things down on the roads. Philadelphia actually had a ground delay because of the rainfall there and some freezing rain mixing in. Bring it down towards the south. Just a trace of rain here in Tallahassee, but areas just off towards the east saw 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Madison and Taylor County there, and even heavier rainfall from Daytona Beach down towards the Orlando metro area. That's all going to slide off towards the east, but this isn't really going to get out of our way too quickly. We're going to see some showers over the next couple of days due to these systems just kind of sticking around. Atlanta and New York both seeing some delays, both due to weather and some traffic problems getting those planes in and out of the New York City airport there, also in Atlanta. Across the Phoenix area, some light rain falling across most of Arizona today with some low pressure there. Moving into southern Utah, they had upwards of 9 inches of snow there in some of the higher elevations above 5,000 feet. And up towards Seattle and Portland, some rain falling there, but just off to the left of this map here is our next storm system. That'll be coming in about the next day or so. But really the story across much of the center of the country is the cold air plummeting down into Dallas, 40 degrees right now. Kansas City at 23 degrees and Minneapolis at 2 right now. A very chilly 2, and that's got some wind involved as well. Temperatures falling about 35 degrees in Lubbock. Amarillo down about 30 degrees as well. That cool front really packed the punch, but that won't quite make it here over the next day or so. High pressure is going to take control for the next day or so, and then we have another storm system coming in. You saw some of those rain showers across Phoenix and much of the southwest. That's what's going to come in towards our direction by Wednesday into Thursday. Wind chills across the northern tier right now into tonight. Down negative 30 degrees in some of those places up towards that area, negative double digits there for actual temperatures. Again, that cold air is going to kind of go up and over our area, just high pressure really sticking in across the center part of the country, driving all of the cool air up and over the southeast right now. Temperatures in the 50s tonight. And then tomorrow we're looking like this, 72 degrees. We made it to 70 degrees today, so we'll tack on a couple more degrees here in Tallahassee. But for more on that, on the local forecast, here's Paxton.
Thank you, John. For our weather headlines for today, it's going to be a cloudy and sticky night, and you certainly could feel the stickiness out there throughout the day today. But these cooler conditions will be continuing into tomorrow morning, and we have highs in the 50s and lows in the 40s for tomorrow morning as well. And as we progress throughout the week, those temperatures will be getting colder. Currently, it is 69 degrees in Tallahassee. We have 65 in Monticello. So it's mild everywhere right now compared to what we had the past weekend where it was very chilly. We were in the 40s and even in the 30s. Satellite and radar. We had a lot of cloud cover early this morning and a lot of rain as well. But as the day moved on, it all went away, cleared up. It was perfect for us as we got later into this afternoon. Everything was pretty much clear. The only thing remaining was the stickiness, and that will be remaining throughout the night as well. We do have this little stationary front bringing in all this moisture to our east, but that kind of just disappears a little bit, and it's going to be replaced by this cold front that will be coming tomorrow morning around 6 a.m., bringing in some more showers and storms and also some more cloud cover. And behind that will become cooler temperatures and a lot cooler air as well. And make sure you just bring your umbrellas with you tomorrow and Wednesday because the cold front will be bringing in some moisture and a little bit of rain and also some clouds. For the beach forecast for tomorrow, we do have a northerly wind 10 knots and 1 to 2 foot surfs. So unlike Jacksonville and the east coast of Florida, surfing's not as good for you out in the Gulf of Mexico. And we do have the 10-knot wind, so it is going to be a little breezy out there as well. The water was 63, so it's very cold. You don't want to go in there. And for the waves on the water, again, 1 to 2 p.m. And you have protective waters have that light chop, so it's also not a good day for water. As well as if you want to go fishing, you want some fish for dinner, go to the store because you don't want to go out on the water. For tonight, it's going to be wet and sticky, 20% chance of rain. We do have some wind going on, and it's going to be 57 in Tallahassee, so a lot milder compared to what we had these past couple of days. You could even go outside without a sweater if you do wish. For tomorrow, it is going to be 69 in Tallahassee, almost 70, very close to what we had today, and you still have that scattered showers chance with another 30% chance of rain for tomorrow. And going into our 7-day, you can see rain exists from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then it clears back up going into Friday and through the weekend. And we're going to hand this back over to the desk of Jay and Matt.
Thank you, Paxton. You know, Paxton always make us at desk smile all the time.
Yeah, that's right. It's good to be back here at FSU Weather. We're always smiling. Even when it's a little gloomy outside, we still have a reason to smile.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see a lot more milder temperatures coming up later on in the week, so all reason to smile. And it is the first full week of school as well.
That's right. And if those cool temperatures do come creeping back in a little bit, we have a couple simple ways that you can cheat those cold temperatures.
Oh, you can always, you heard like cow litter, it's kind of like sand. Well, you can put cat litter into makeshift road salt so you can have more traction on the road if you're seeing more winter storms.
That's very interesting. And then another way to also keep warm, and I know I have this a problem a lot, is the static electricity when you're having all those coats on and you're pulling them off and then you go touch something and you get shocked.
Yes, I know. Especially with all the metal that's getting cold, I'm getting shocked a lot. Make me a little more jumpy and on edge every time I touch something metal.
That's right. And there's actually new clothing that you can buy that's anti-shock so that you can, well, not get shocked as much.
Yes, you also keep traction on your bike as well, because you can easily slip if you're on a bike. So make sure you keep some traction on your bike to not slip.
Having the bikes, if it ever gets icy here in Tallahassee, which it hasn't in a while, since last year, but we won't have that problem right now. But let's start talking about what's going on a little bit more around Florida with Josh.
Thanks, guys. And we're going to start our tour here close to home in Tallahassee. So we got cloudy and sticky night. That was the case pretty much all day today. We had clouds around it, felt sticky most of the day. You noticed that fog come in later in the day. That's because our temperature was so close to that dew point. It was so humid, so sticky. It's going to be the case tomorrow too, unfortunately there. Cool conditions though Tuesday morning, a little bit cooler than we had this morning. But still, the cooler air comes in later this week. Highs in the 50s again when that cold front comes through later this week, and lows back into the 40s. A little bit more seasonable this time of year. Current temperature right now, 69 in Tallahassee, 62 in Jacksonville. Switching over here, we got 67 in Tampa. Rain going on there. Plenty of rain today. 65 in Orlando as well. Down south, where there's not as much rain, more sunshine. 77. Really warm this time of year down south, where just not much winter going on down there. 6 degrees warmer in Tallahassee than it was this time yesterday. 9 degrees cooler this time than it was yesterday in Tampa. And that's because of all those the clouds and the rain going on. The high yesterday in Tampa was 80 degrees. So it was definitely much warmer yesterday, and the clouds and the rain are really keeping it much cooler. Not as much comfortable, but definitely much cooler than it was yesterday. Here's that radar I was talking about, plenty of rain going on. Around 3 inches north near Gainesville, radar estimated near 3 inches, a little bit over that as well, near St. Augustine, Jacksonville. Just rain all day today. We had rain earlier today in the morning, but not much after that. It's mainly been across Central Florida here. You can see across the I-4 corridor, Polk County, up into the Orlando area. 75 is starting to clear out just a little bit closer to Tampa. 275 starting to clear up for the rush hour traffic going on, but plenty of rain still going on across Polk County and into Orlando. Switching out, much wider view, you can tell it's mainly Central Florida across that stationary front that's across the Gulf. But over us, we're starting to get a little bit more clear skies, not much rain going on in our area. But you can tell, when I say sticky, you look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, plenty of moisture going on. It's just moist all the way through, and definitely across Central Florida, the higher values here across where the rain is falling. But you can see that dry tongue just to our west, that's moving in our direction as a cold front starts to approach. For tonight, 57 degrees, humid 57. So it's not going to be cold 57, a little chilly, but it's going to be that humid 57. So not too cold, not too warm. 56 in Jacksonville, humid across Central Florida. You can see 65. That is humid air right there. Plenty of moist air going on down there. Tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy skies again because that front's going to start coming our direction, so we expect clouds in front of the front and plenty of cloudy skies as well. So 72, just like today. Humid, low 70s, same story. 79 in Tampa, a little bit more sunshine, closer to 80 degrees again. We're watching those 80s come up. For tomorrow night, 54, we start dropping a little bit faster as that front starts to pass us late Tuesday and into Wednesday. But for right now, we're going to head off to Mr. Donovan, and he's going to be talking about some winter weather.
Yes, I am. Thanks, Josh. We're going to step away from the Sunshine State for a minute because we have plenty to talk about in our Winter Weather Center here for our first winter weather update of 2015. Like I said, plenty to talk about. Here's our current snow cover across the U.S. Up in the Northeast, that's one of the more significant areas, and we're going to talk about here soon some more possibly winter issues coming from the Pacific Northwest, pulling in off the ocean, going to be affecting much of the Northwest and all the way to the Northeast. And here's our current conditions around the country. Sitting down here in Tallahassee, of course, we're at 69 degrees, Miami 77, but you get farther north up around Boston, 38 degrees, Minneapolis at 2 degrees right now. Blistering cold. Up there in Seattle, we expect those temperatures to drop soon. Again, as more develops off of the Pacific Northwest, it's going to affect half of the country at least. Now, here, we're going to get what we're going to get into. This is that weather maker right now up around Alaska, coming in towards the state of Washington. That's going to push all the way down across Canada, and it's just going to bring more bad weather. This is currently here on Monday. A lot of bad things going on in the Northwest there in New York, Pennsylvania. You see those darker, like pink, purple colors. That's a lot of snowfall, a lot of bad weather up that way. Much around the Carolinas and Virginia, even into Maryland, they may be seeing some snow. But a little further south, closer neighbors, they're seeing a lot of rainfall today. Nothing like snow, nothing sticking on the ground, fortunately for them. Now in Colorado, we're looking possibly here in the southern part of it. It's going to be around close to 10 inches possibly of snowfall over the next day or two. That's probably the most snowfall that you'll see nationally accumulate over the next day. But again, this early part of January, we got to be watching it because there's going to be plenty of that. Now, for today, this was our high temperatures across the country, 38 in Boston. I keep going back over here to Minneapolis because it's just been cold all day. 5 degrees was their high. Down here in the south, Atlanta, 47 degrees. They had a lot of fog today. They had a dense fog warning this afternoon into this evening, so that's why they stayed a lot cooler. 70 here in Tallahassee. It felt pretty nice today, but very humid. Now let's talk about futurecast temperatures for tonight. 54 in Atlanta, 75 Miami, staying very cold all across this area that we've been talking about, just blistering cold. And we'll take that on into the next day. Actually, we'll talk about current wind chills. 46 here in Atlanta, 29 in Memphis, Minneapolis feels like 9 degrees up there, or excuse me, negative 9 degrees. Detroit feels like 9 degrees, 34 in Boston, nothing too bad there. Staying warm here in the south, but again, a lot going on with weather across this time in the winter. But now let's send it back over to the desk with Matthew and Jay.
Thank you, Dynamic Donovan. Another dynamic forecast indeed for all the winter storms.
Yeah, Dynamic Donovan. I like that. That's a good one. And if you have been outside today, we've definitely noticed that the warm-up and the muggy conditions have been around.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have a slight cool down because of clouds moving out. It's going to be quite cold for probably around 50 tomorrow, but we're going to be warming up later on in the week, as well as more north streets as well.
That's right, and that's partly due to that jet stream set up north of us, keeping that Arctic air trapped up there in the northern states.
Yes, for parts of Canada as well. So a lot more colder getting trapped.
Yeah, absolutely. Canada is always frozen this time of year, but down here, typically we've seen a little bit colder weather in the last few weeks, but that's starting to change here going into January, at least for the short term.
Yes, and not like last year where we saw all the winter storms coming in, and we actually had quite a bit of frost coming in as well for January.
That's right, and those high temperatures are going to be up about 10 to 20 degrees above what we've been seeing over the last few weeks here in the Tallahassee area.
But now let's take it off to Coral with our last lovely segment.
Thank you, Jay. Now, today we saw a high of 70 degrees, which a lot of us felt today was abnormal, especially considering last week we saw high temperatures up in the 40s and we were dealing with 20s and 30s. So today was a nice change. It was a bit muggy for some of us for winter, but rest assured that's not going to last too long. Here we are right now. Temperatures into tonight, 64 in Tallahassee, and that's going to drop all the way down to 65, 56 in Quincy, and of course 59 in Wilma. So we're going to see a slight drop in temperatures, and that's due to that stationary front that's just sitting on top of us that Ian talked about earlier. And as we go on into tomorrow morning, you're going to see those temperatures kind of bounce back into the 60s, but still cooler than yesterday, and that's because that secondary front is coming through in the morning. So we're going to be a little bit around the area, cooler temperatures, but not cold, as I would say. Now, as we go into Wednesday night, we are going to see those temperatures start to get down into those colder temperatures, 50 in Tallahassee for Wednesday night. And as we keep on going, you can see there is that stationary front that we saw a little bit of sprinkle and rain today in Tallahassee all throughout the morning, but that kind of cleared out, but not the clouds. They stuck around all day today and kind of lingered, and so we felt that mugginess when it was 70 degrees all day today. So that was haunting us, and you can see a little bit of a tail end. That is our secondary front, and that will be coming in through tonight into tomorrow morning. And of course, you see all those clouds over in Texas. That will be that third round into Thursday. So that's where all our weather is coming from, which is keeping our rain chances up until Thursday. But after that, things should start to clear out. As we go through, you can see there's that stationary front today. That kind of disappears into tonight as that cold front starts to come through. And there we have our temperatures for tomorrow and Wednesday morning. And as that comes through, there we go into Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Chillier temperatures. You're definitely going to want that jacket if you're heading out early morning for those classes or late at night, because it is going to be cold then, and it'll bounce back up into the 60s. So you might want to have a little bit of layering just so you can shed that out as we go through today. As we head to tonight, temperatures 57 in Monticello, 57 in Tallahassee, 57 in St. Mark's. The three triple numbers all the same. Wet and sticky tonight, 20% chance of rain. And of course, a little bit higher tomorrow as we do have a front coming through with scattered showers, but 69. So just a little bit cooler, but do expect those overnight temperatures to drop into the colder regions as well. As for the 7-day, here we have our temperatures. You see the front sticking around Tuesday into Thursday, with a Wednesday a bit of a break between temperatures. And of course, we do have a little bit of a break with the temperatures. You'll see 58 in upper 50s, lower 60s, but check out those lows. Definitely in the 40s and 38s. That is cold, my friends. So make sure you bundle up and have everything ready for the day, as of course we have everything through. And as you head to the weekend, it's going to be bright, sunny, beautiful. So I definitely recommend you enjoy it, as we do have a little bit of a build up on Monday with maybe our next system. So I'm going to send it back to the desk with Jay.
All right, thank you so much, Coral. I like seeing those warmer temperatures a little bit. It's actually quite comfortable.
Yes, it's kind of like more you're going to go outside and start running instead, but you know, with all that mist inside, you don't want to really do that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this type of weather. The atmosphere doesn't want to make up its mind. It's like half raining, half not raining.
Well, you know, all of us here at the studio can't make our minds about the game tonight.
Yeah, there's that national championship game tonight, which I probably will not be watching because I have a lot of homework to do.
Well, I got a lot of tennis practice I got to go to, and I won't be sitting outside sweating like most football players will be. Probably not as much, but again, it's not going to be cool.
That's
regardless.
right. And let's look at that 7-day forecast, because it's sunny later on towards the weekend, which is when we want to see it sunny.
Yeah, we're going to see a slight cool down as well Thursday, but going out later on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be nice and lovely all across the Big Bend region. You see these temperatures in the 60s, lows in the 40s, so it's going to be quite good weather for the weekend and in the Monday.
Yeah, that's right. And then into Saturday, we see the lows back into the 30s once again. And, well, you want to catch us on social media because we got a huge presence there.
Yes, you can always like us on Facebook, follow us on twitter.com, and you can also watch our lovely faces on livestream.com/FSU Weather.
And don't forget about Instagram, too.
Oh, yes,
we
got Instagram now, too.
Yeah, so send us in those weather pictures if you capture them when we have those icicles on the fountain. Send those to us. We want them.
Yes, but make sure you always stay tuned to us, because we'll be showing our shows the entire semester. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Jay Kimball.
And I'm student meteorologist Matthew Reagan.
Have a great night, and make sure you stay not sweaty.